Hey everyone, Token Dave over here, dorky token black guy who's just trying to get by. Welcome to another edition of The Lowdown. Here, I give a quick review of a recent movie that has just come out, and today I'm going to give you all the lowdown on the Many Saints of Newark. After a domestic altercation turns fatal, Dickie Montesanti becomes the new head of the DeFio crime family. However, heavy is the head that wears the crown as he struggles with, maintaining his criminality by balancing out his good deeds, particularly trying to mentor his nephew into a better life compared to his immediate surroundings. Okay, let's do away with the elephant in the room. Michael Gandolfini is awesome as the young Tony Soprano, a role that his father made famous, okay? We see the early signs of the complexity and the vulnerability that Tony had at that time and what caused him to be the hardened, mob boss that he is in this series. So, right out the gate, Michael Gandolfini is awesome in this. I'm hearing a lot of negative reviews about this movie, and I personally don't get them to a certain degree. So, because this movie is competently made by the acting, the writing, the cinematography, and even the musical scores. Speaking of the acting, I already talked about Michael Gandolfini being awesome in this, but the other show stealers are Alessandro Navani, I hope I pronounced his name right. If I didn't, correct me in the comments, as Dickie Montesanti. You see the parallels of Dickie Montesanti and Tony Soprano in this movie and in the series, particularly how both of them are trying to mentor someone that's younger. Only with this performance of Dickie Montesanti, we get it in a shorter time period. And even with that shorter time period, it's still amazing. And one thing is that, Dickie is trying to mentor Tony away from the mafia while Tony was mentoring Christopher, Dickie's son in the series, as he tries to make him his right-hand man. The other breakout performance is Vera Farmiga as Lydia Soprano. Wow. What a manipulative and chaotic bitch. Seriously, and Vera Farmiga nailed her down to a T. Oh, wow. And those are the show stealers, but all the actors there did a great job, with their roles. But it's a double-edged sword, which I will get into in a moment. Another thing is, it is very well written. I mean, the TV show, it had some of the best writing and transformed, helped transform television to be more predominant than movies are. And, it didn't feel long or it didn't feel boring, But here's the big problem that I see with this movie. It's a movie. I'm sorry. I like going to the movies myself, so when I go to the movies, I want to feel like I have a movie experience. This really feels like, I would have paid extra money for something that I could sit home and watch on cable, particularly HBO. And that's the major drawback. As good as the writing was, it didn't really need to be a movie. It would have been as effective. Actually, to be honest, I think it would have been more effective as a TV series or a limited series. And as I said, everyone did a great job with the performances, but we really don't get to know these characters, especially these newer, older, mafioso figures that were very interesting. The characters from the TV show, that have a younger appearance were pretty much sidelined and felt unnecessary. And I know that we have to have fan service, but the person narrating this whole movie, it really felt unnecessary. And here's the thing. This was well made that it could have stood on its own. Even if you're not a fan of The Sopranos and you heard this narration, if you're not a fan of The Sopranos TV series, right, and didn't hear the narration, you would follow along fairly well. And so this movie kind of competently made, a little too competently made, but it gets in its own way. speaking of getting its own way, some of the complexities that they try to make with, the racial tension between the Italian mafia and the uprising of the criminal underworld for the African Americans really did away. It felt like this movie was trying to do too much in too little time, and that's the problem. This would have benefited as a limited series as opposed to a movie. So, great acting, great writing, great cinematography, but not enough development for the characters and feeling like an actual TV show. This is the reason why I say that, the Many Saints of Newark is slamming, but it's a really low slamming. I'm between slamming and cool, but, it's not mediocre. But it will be great once we can stream it a lot more without paying. Agree? Disagree? Please drop me a comment below, give me a like, follow me on Facebook at Token Dave, or on Twitter or Instagram at Token Dave 80, subscribe, and ring that bell so you know when a new video loads. One minor gripe. Really? Frank Lucas in a flashy fur clothing? He would not be in public like that, with the exception of that one mistake he made. Anyway, later everyone.